Hello, my name is Phil George and my YouTube channel is DD Fellows. Today I'm going to talk about the Antigravity A1 drone, which is sponsored by Insta360. And I'm going to talk about my beef with this drone because actually since the drone became available to buy, I have quite frankly and quite loudly voiced my opinion of the price of this drone. It's too expensive, and I do not want to spend $2,000 on a drone that only does one thing, a drone that only goes forward, a drone that only records in 360, a drone that only operates with a motion controller, no other options. It just seems a little too much money to spend on a drone that does one thing, 360 video. However, I have been a fan of Insta360 ever since I began flying drones. It started out, I was buying drones from Temu. That was a year ago right now, so it hasn't been that long. And I also started ordering action cams from Temu. And the problem with the action cams and the drones from Temu is they were not worth much, especially if you were under $100. The drones just didn't work very well. The cameras didn't work very well. The action cameras were okay, but not as good as I wanted them to be. But still, in my mind, they were okay. So after a while of watching a lot of YouTube videos about drones and stuff, I made the decision to buy my first DJI drone, the Mini 4 Pro, which I purchased in January of this year. So not even quite a year since I had a DJI drone. And I did a lot of trying to figure out how to be a drone pilot with that drone. And I started gaining some skills, and I started wanting a better camera, and the camera I wanted was the Insta360. So soon after I got the Mini 4 Pro, I bought the Insta360 X3 camera, and I started playing with it. And the first thought I had was I wanted to connect the camera to a drone to take the 360 camera experience up in the air. So we're gonna explore the past year, less than a year, of my experiences trying to put the Insta360 camera on one of my drones and flying it. In other words, trying to create my own Antigravity A1 drone. So let's watch some video. So first off, there's my new camera. That drone is a Temu drone. It's a $300 drone. It's called the AE86 Max Pro, or what I name all my drones. I've named this drone Maxi. And Maxi is a heavy lifting drone. It's fairly stable. Its stability made me want to purchase a DJI drone because I wanted that kind of stability and better. And so here I am. This is March 23rd of this year. I have it hooked up to the drone. I'm going to try to take it off. I have the selfie stick so the drone has some space between the camera and the drone. That was in order to get me some clearance so you could see the whole drone instead of a seam right through the middle of the drone, which it didn't work. So of course I attached it to without the selfie stick. It was just too heavy, and thinking, well, I'll have the seam probably, but this still should be able to lift it. And really what I was doing, I was finding my way. The camera that this is being filmed with is the $30 5K Temu camera, action camera, which I still think is pretty good, a pretty clear picture. Exposures change and stuff. So here we go with a flight without the selfie stick on that March 23rd. And the drone kind of struggled a little bit with the camera, but it was lifting it. And the thing that I found is I loved this footage. I loved the way that this looked, and I loved to be able to watch my drone fly from above it, like I'm floating above it, watching it fly and seeing what it sees. And of course, the gimmick of the 360 camera is the tiny planet. And especially early on in those days, I went to the tiny planet quite a bit. So, but if you're looking at this footage, I think this footage is still pretty spectacular. To get a look at Maxie up in the air, to get a look at Bede back on the ground, pretty good. This is just a few blocks from my house. And the thing about buying a drone in January, and the same with buying one right now, it's too cold. So I took my 360 camera to San Diego in April, and I started playing around with it. And what I was finding out was that as you try to zoom in on something, then the picture quality really was at a loss. And I like the invisible selfie stick. I like the idea of having it. I took it everywhere with me when we were in San Diego. My wife didn't like the selfie stick because when she took a selfie, you could see it wasn't invisible, is what she says. So, this was at the beach, San Diego, and I once again like that little planet. This was just an idea. Just you see it pop into my head. Okay, let's go in the trees. So I'm just shoving the camera through the trees, trying to go fast. Maybe I'm trying to recreate the scene in Star Wars where they're on the little scooters going through the forest of Endor. That's what I'm thinking of. But as I'm editing the footage, I think it's kind of cool. I think this is different than any other camera you ever had, and I was quite intrigued by the effects. And I really, every day when we'd go back to the hotel, I'd stay up pretty late editing the footage, which I enjoyed doing, and discovering how to work the camera. Now here's an interesting thing. Watch what happens. I decided to turn around and I appear out of nowhere. I think that's pretty cool. And this camera did make me happy. I was pretty happy with this camera.
Wow.
I don't know if my wife was happy with it. She's smiling. Here's a little bit of footage that shows how when you zoom in, you lose the quality of the picture, because this is actually pretty cool because it's a 360 camera. And in post, you can follow the bird. You don't have to point the camera at the bird. You just put it up there close to it, maybe a little too close to it. And then in post, you can follow the bird. And when the bird flies farther away, I still try to zoom in. And you can see that the quality of the picture is lost, so it kind of in a way ruins the video. But you can't see the bird if you're not zoomed in. So that's the limitations I'm learning about with this camera on my learning curve. And here's another example, another bird. When I'm editing this, I realize the quality's not so good, so I pull back till it's clear. And I think, okay, I have to figure that out. Once again, there's the camera. You can see the camera is not invisible in a reflection. So I thought that was pretty neat too. And I really did discover the use of this camera, the uses. I tried everything I could think of with it when I was in San Diego, and I really enjoyed the camera. And it actually kind of renewed my interest in wanting to put it on a drone again. So we'll see how I figure that out. But the bullet selfie is something that I liked. Now here I am back at the park. I got the camera on the drone again, but this time I didn't turn the camera on. And the thing I'm trying to do is I have my Avata and I have my Mini 4 Pro, and what I'm trying to do is get the camera up there so I could take a picture of all 3 drones in the air at the same time, only from above on the camera on this. And that was on April 13th, and on the 14th, when I discovered I hadn't turned the camera on, I went to a different park near my house and tried again. So if you can see in the corner, I got both of my drones up in the air, and then I send the Maxi app with the camera on it, and I also had put lens protectors because I was really afraid of scratching my lens, which is something I've done many times with my Insta360s and my 3X. Every time I've done it, I've sent it back to the manufacturer twice to have the lens fix replaced, because you can't do that from home. The X5, which I own one of those, you can, but the X3 has been back to Insta360, and they've sent me a replacement camera twice now. Probably going to be a third time, because this last week I fell on my bike and the camera was on my bike and I scratched it again. So you just can't win with the lens protector. You get a seam, see the seam, and without the lens protector, you still get a seam, but it's not as noticeable as that is. And you'll see that seam in quite a bit of my footage, because I'm really worried about scratching the camera and having to send it back and pay some money to get it repaired. I don't want to do that. I want to save my money to buy new cameras and new drones, and not spend them fixing cameras that I break. But you see, I kind of was successful today in getting a picture of all 3 drones in the air at the same time. So that was kind of a success, and that kind of got me excited about it. But once again, with the seam, I wasn't really happy with the footage. I never published this on YouTube or on another channel. This is where I got another drone. I got my Neo 2. I call him Andy. His name's Mr. Anderson, but I call him Andy. And there's Ivada, which is the dude, and Birdie, which is my Mini 4 Pro. And then Maxi's we're gonna try to get them all 3 in the air and have Maxi take a photo of them in the air. And this is May 2nd. We got the drones in the air. And I tried to find a lighter weight way to extend the camera away from the drone, but it didn't work because it was too heavy, as we'll see right here. So this ride of Insta360 cameras on drones has been an experiment, and it feels like 2 steps, 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But you'll notice the footage is just of the action cam, and I am not because I didn't turn the camera on again. Okay. So here we are. We're going to try to put it on the Avata 2. And the thing that bothered me about the Avata 2 and this camera mount was that it was blocking me from getting satellites. So taking it up in the air and worrying about the center of gravity, I get it up there and I think, well, can I fly it? And then I try. Put the goggles down and I try here.
Let's see if I can fly it.
And the drone didn't like it. It starts wobbling pretty heavily, and then it kind of just goes its own direction for a minute, almost right in my face. And so that didn't quite work out the way I wanted. This was May 10th. So it's too heavy. That's part of the problem. So my solution was to get a lighter 360 camera. So I went on eBay and I got the original Insta360 X1, the first Insta360 camera,
wasted my
which
time.
was only 74 grams, which was a lot lighter than my
it says it's on.
X3. And the problem I had with that is I can't see the display. Here I am trying to see the display because I want to make sure it's recording. The thing I didn't ever do was attach it to my, or hook it up to my phone through the app, where I can control the camera through the app, which turns out to be a little more successful. But on this test here, the only thing I really did, because it was in photo mode, was snap a picture of my face,
I think it's
trying to look at the screen.
I can't see the display
when I tried to turn it on, so, which I deleted that photo because it was painful. And you can see I also got an aluminum screw, trying to get the camera away from the drone again. It was aluminum. Hopefully it was light. It was lighter than with the light camera, and with this I thought it would work. So it was an experiment. And here I am saying I should have connected the camera to the app. So we'll see how it goes with the lighter camera.
Okay.
Even though we don't have
I want to do this. There it is, wobbling.
You can see it wobbles. Feels like to me it's going to flip over any second. And I think it was close to being able to work with that pull.
Nope.
That pull was just too heavy. So, and with the weight of it, it was having a hard time even landing. It bounced instead of landing. Okay, so I did think the lighter camera was pretty good, but I didn't turn it on, so we didn't see how good it looked or how bad it looked. Now here I am with that lighter camera, seeing if the Vada would fly with it. So this is an experiment with the dude to see if he could lift it. Once again, I'm not getting any satellites with that camera mount on the drone. It's blocking the antenna for the GPS, so I'm not getting satellites, which worries me. I worry about the drones because of how much they cost. But let's see how this is the 1X looks. This is how the 1X camera looks. Not as high quality as the 3X or the 5X or the anti-gravity drone's going to be.
Pretty steady.
But it is flying. With the goggles down, we go for a little test run. I really liked the footage when I saw it back. You can see the Vada footage is a little higher quality. The picture-in-picture. I liked seeing the shadow on the ground.
Wobbly, a little bit wobbly.
I like seeing the drone in the air. I thought this was great. And maybe, especially in the corners, it's not the clearest picture, but I think I spent $120 on eBay for that X1. So it wasn't really expensive. And you get that feeling of having a 3D camera. Something I've wanted. I was pretty happy with this test. Felt like it was pretty successful. But the lack of satellites made me not want to repeat it on an expensive drone. The $300 drone, yeah, I repeated on that. But I didn't want to take a chance with my Vada, because my Vada to me is pure joy. The dude makes me happy, and I don't want anything to happen to it. I want the Vada to be safe. So this is my last attempt at attaching anything to the top of my Vada. But I thought the footage was pretty good. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. The one thing about drones on your mat, it pushes the mat away. One thing about the anti-gravity is they say the anti-gravity can see the mat, and when it's returned to home, it will land on the mat every time. So that's kind of intriguing. Makes you wish you could afford to buy one. Part of my beef that I can't afford to buy one. So here I am being stupid, thinking I'm going to give I bought a camera mount for my Mini 4 Pro for Birdie, my prized possession, and I think I'm gonna see if Birdie can lift this little camera, and see that my phone's there because I'm smart enough to control the camera through an app now. So that was a great improvement. And there's Birdie, and it was a nice cloudy day with sunshine coming through the clouds. And I'm going to tell you the honest truth. When this came back, when I finished editing this footage and I watched it, I kind of felt like this might be the best drone footage I've ever shot. I loved how this looked. It's quite. I took it on quite a long flight, and Birdie had no problem lifting the camera up. Birdie could take that camera up and fly pretty straight. There wasn't a wobble. It felt pretty secure up until a point, and we'll get to that point in a minute. But I love the way the park looks, the grass, the shadow. I love the way that you can see my drone flying from the air. Makes me happy. I thought this was a really good thing. So now we're heading back towards home. I flew it around for probably a good 10 minutes, and we're on the way back home. And I'm getting some signals on my controller saying that the drone's having some trouble, some issues with power, and I think it's because it's too heavy. So I'm getting concerned. You can see the little tiny dot I'm walking towards the drone because I'm thinking I'm going to have to land it before I get all the way back home. And once I start heading down, that's when Birdie had trouble both lifting the camera and having a nice controlled descent. So she pretty much crashes right straight to the ground, and which has scared me because I don't want to do anything to harm this drone. I love this drone so much. I really do. But my comment when I picked up the drone was hilarious because it is kind of funny. Now this is August,
It'll pick up the camera, and
or
if it will pendulum,
this is
or if it'll
October.
fly.
And in October, I thought I wanted to go one more try, and I had the idea to tie the camera with some twine to the bottom of Maxie. She has a little cargo release hook, so I put it on there, and I have every single camera I use in the field on because I want to record this. But now we're getting a chance to look up at the drone as it flies, and I was worried about it penduluming, and it did pendulum some, and I really felt like with the twine it was too far away, so I later took the twine off and just hooked the camera to the connector so it wasn't hanging. But once again, that X1 camera, the footage not the clearest, definitely not 4K footage, but the park looks spectacular in my opinion. It looks spectacular, and having a 360 camera in the air, in my opinion, is one of the coolest things in the world. The idea that you can see your drone fly is a good idea, but the idea that you could be in
I
goggles
think it's returning to home.
and it's like you're flying or you're even standing. You hold that drone perfectly still, you're like standing 100 meters in the air, and you're looking anywhere you want to look. That's intriguing. But the problem is, and you can tell I'm a little bit cheap because
Here it comes down.
I really want the Maverick 4, but it's more than $2,000, and I think $2,000 is kind of a limit for me. It's kind of too much to pay for a drone. I'm not poor. I'm retired now, but I'm not poor. But I want to be able to fly a 360 camera. I've tried a lot for this year. I've tried really hard to make this work, and I've enjoyed doing it. I've never been, in my mind, 100% successful at it, but I've enjoyed it. So my beef
That's
with
pretty
the
close to the
Antigravity A1, my beef is it's too expensive. and I've said that a lot in comments on other people's videos and in the chats of live broadcasts. I said I won't buy this drone. I won't buy this drone. I won't buy this drone. I was waiting kind of for the Bada 360 because I think I will buy that drone. I don't think it will be over $2,000. I hope not, because I probably should say the same thing. But the idea of the anti-gravity being at Best Buy is a scary idea for a guy like me, because I'm an impulse guy. You put things by the cash register, and I always want to buy them, and a lot of times I do, whether I need it or not. And I'm going to show you guys something. Now, my biggest worry, I haven't opened it yet, I got it a couple days ago, is that when you buy a drone that you said you weren't going to buy, does that mean you have to eat Sean the Drone's hat? That's my question to you guys. But I'm the owner of an Antigravity A1, and I'm excited. And I spent more than $2,000 after taxes. But I walked into a store and I bought it, and I walked out of the store and I had it. And today I'm going to unbox it. I'm going to take it to Lodestar Park, and I'm going to fly it. I'm going to put it up in the air to max legal altitude and freeze it up there. And I'm going to stand at max legal altitude, and I'm going to turn my head and look around and see what I can see. And I'm excited for that. Thank you.